Welcome to ASportsZones, hub to sports world news. Update on tennis: Novak Djokovic had just won Wimbledon for a fifth time, in an agonizingly intense 5-hour classic against Roger Federer. He had saved 2 match points and survived a final set tiebreaker. He had lost more points, hit fewer winners and at times appeared to lose his way on center court. But as he had on so many occasions over the past 10 years, Djokovic found a way to win anyway. The 32-year-old, who has helped stage countless thrillers, described this one as the most mentally demanding match I was ever part of. So what was Djokovic asked afterward? The questions revolved, as they often do with him, around 2 subjects: 1, how the crowd had been against him, and 2, how he was getting closer and closer to catching Federer and Rafael Nadal. The chain of events that day: a Djokovic victory, an audience rooting against him, a media preoccupied with Federer and Nadal was a pretty good summation of the last decade in men's tennis. Please subscribe in our YouTube channel and follow and like us on Facebook #ASportsZones. Visit our site at www.asportszones.com for more sports update. Faced with Federer-loving crowds for so long, the only thing Djokovic could do was trick his mind into believing their cheers were for him. "When the crowd is chanting Roger, I hear Novak," Djokovic said with a laugh at Wimbledon. "It's similar, Roger and Novak." Unfortunately for Novak, he came along in the era of Nadal and Federer, Tennis Channel's Paul Annacone says. While he has been magnificent, it's so difficult for him to truly get the credit he deserves. There's a narrow truth to the notion that Djokovic is catching up to Roger and Rafa. Yes, he trails them in tennis' most high-profile stat, major titles. Federer has 20, Nadal 19, Djokovic 16. But our obsession with this race obscures the fact that over the past 10 years, Djokovic has passed his rivals by. Since the start of 2010, Djokovic has won 15 majors, to Nadal's 13 and Federer's 5. His combined record against them is 42-25. He has finished 5 seasons at number 1, to Nadal's 4, and Federer's 0. The Serbian set 2 marks for all-surface excellence that neither Nadal or Federer could match. He became the first man since Rod Laver to win 4 Grand Slam titles in a row, and became the only man to sweep all 4 majors and all 9 Masters 1000s. Djokovic's rise fits neatly into tennis last decade. When he broke through at 19 in 2007, he said he expected to be the next world number 1. His first coach, Jelena Jenčić, had told him that was his destiny, and he believed her. By the end of 2010, though, the 23-year-old had yet to make good on that brash prediction. He had spent 4 seasons ranked no. 3 behind Roger and Rafa. Finally, in 2010, he escaped their shadows by leading Serbia to its first Davis Cup, in Belgrade. Instead of being the spoiler, Djokovic was the hero. Instead of playing second fiddle, he was the conductor. Instead of being rooted against, he had 20,000 fans chanting his name, his real name. The positive vibes from that triumph carried over to the 2011 Australian Open, which Djokovic won with ease. "After we won the Davis Cup, I was feeling great on the court, just eager to compete," Djokovic said in Melbourne. "Something switched in my head. Something switched in Djokovic's game, too." He would win his first 41 matches of 2011, and finish the year with 3 slams. Over the next 9 years, Djokovic would never surrender the number 1 ranking for long. He would beat Federer in 3 Wimbledon finals, and he would hand Nadal his only loss all decade at Roland Garros. Players marvel at Djokovic's ability to blend offense and defense into a seamless, impenetrable whole. "His movement was what shocked me," Former number 4 James Blake says. When I played him, it felt like I was doing a 2-on-1 drill, and the two were never missing. It didn't seem possible to get a ball by him, ever. His return is the greatest in the history of tennis, Jimmy Arias says. Normally, players fall into one of two categories: defensive returners who put all the balls back in, and aggressive returners who tend to guess. Djokovic is the first player who does both. With a plant-based diet and a commitment to meditation and visualization, Djokovic is a pioneer when it comes to mental and physical training. He's won the Laureus Sportsman of the Year award 4 times, and he currently heads the ATP Player Council. Maybe Djokovic does everything a little too efficiently, without any unneeded flourishes. Maybe it's because his best shot is his return, which rarely creates highlight reel winners. Maybe it's because Federer and Nadal carved up the tennis fan universe in the middle of the last decade, and there was no room left for anyone else in this one. Or maybe Djokovic's brassy brand of showmanship, the primal roars, the shredded shirts, the arm flaps, the hands cupped to his ear, the post-match thank yous from his chest, just leaves old-school tennis fans flat. Djokovic can only be who he is. As he won Wimbledon this year, he seemed content not to try to win anyone over. There was no fall to the grass or cry of triumph, no attempt to celebrate with the fans who had rooted against him. All he could do was win for himself. As Anna Cohn says, he's a champion, pure and simple. Djokovic was the best men's player of the last decade. By the end of the next one, we may be calling him the best of all time. If you have any comments or suggestion, feel free to comment below. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe in our YouTube channel and follow and like us on Facebook #ASportsZones. For more sports update, visit our site at www.ASportsZones.com. Do not forget to click the notification bell.